Here we are, years later, still waiting for Kick-Ass 3. Except now, there is no Kick-Ass 3, and Hit Girl says she wants no part of it. So instead, she's starring in this. Opening with a cartoon character talking of gremlins at fault for his plane blowing up, we're introduced to how nonsensical a gremlin dismantling a plane is considered in this world. We find our protagonist, Garrett, Chloe Grace Moretz, with an arm injured and carrying a bag on her way to the airstrip to catch her flight on the Fool's Errand. We're introduced to the crew as one attempts to assault her on grounds that
the hell you are?
When she states she's on that flight. And the rest become confused and decide she belongs down below until they can get confirmation she belongs on the flight. Asserting that the sexism is going to be a flagship that follows us throughout the film, we roll into a radio conversation discussing how fuckable she is and
Mama.
Then she joins in on stating how she's just a soldier just like the rest of them. Then she sees something she thinks is an animal on the underside of the plane. She ends up getting stuck in the underturret and unable to come out. They lose lights, and she keeps hearing weird noises, starting to panic and finding bolts falling off with animal marks. She's afraid she's about to fall out of the sky. After, she's had enough, and tells off the crew through radio for their continual belittling remarks. The captain decides she should stay down in the turret to cool off, and cuts off main radio to avoid any more of her comments. She's attacked by an unknown creature that tries to rip her out from the turret, and she decides keeping it closed with the old finger hold is the best choice. Guess not? Getting a gun out and letting a shot off at the creature, she fends it off. Over the radio, one of the crew comes on questioning if they had big rats in New Zealand. Then, they come under attack by a Japanese fighter as Garrett takes it out. Then Garrett tries opening fire on the creature after it dismantles Engine 3, leaving her exposed when her turret can't move into position. The monster stares her down in a face-off till it leaves to fuck up the plane more. Another crew member sees the gremlin on Engine 4. Then they turn on each other over opening her package, insisting that it must be the reason somehow why the plane is falling apart. They struggle and find that the package is her baby? And Walter Quaid, the guy she introduced with the package, played by Taylor John Smith, is the father. A very teary-eyed scene comes in giving the backstory of Baby, and we see she's just an abused wife attempting to escape from her husband, who found out her ex-sideman, Quaid, got her knocked up. Ooh, no bueno. The gremlin must be able to hear and understand what's going on somehow, cause the ugly fucker kills Quaid in the top turret and steals the baby. Then, the ugly mug takes the baby to the blown-out wing and lets it hang in bag on a pipe. Desperate and determined, Garrett climbs out of her turret, takes a couple shots at the monster, and crawls upside down to the wing and retrieves the tyke, all in a very shoot-'em-up-esque scene. Cue B-movie 80s action music to assist in the terror of what this woman is going through. Then, in a full-on stroke of holy shit badass and hilarity, she falls from the plane, only to be shot back into it through the turret hole of the plane from an exploding Japanese fighter. She fights the gremlin off again as it attacks another crew member and cuts its tail off. And one by one, the crew die by getting shot by passing Japanese. Fucking shoot these assholes already. Turns out ex-baby daddy, dead guy, is still kicking, and now he gives a fuck about Garrett and her baby. Babysitting as she fights the ugly fucker off again, shooting it point blank in the chest. Then, helping co-pilot out of a nosedive and back into an upright position, they come in too fast and low on a beach and end up hitting the ground like a rock and fucking up the plane and themselves. As a parent, the next scene almost put a tear in my eye as she focuses and realizes her baby. She has thoughts of her child in the box, pinned under a loose piece of metal, with blood oozing from the box. Fucks you up to even think of that kind of shit. But as she looks back, she sees baby and ex-baby daddy are still intact. Son of a bitch, man, that's not cool. Fleeing the plane as it's about to explode, they all collapse on the beach. Then, the gremlin pops back up like a true horror movie villain and snatches the baby from ex-baby daddy and tries to leave. But Goldilocks Mama Bear has about enough, and in a scene that felt like it was trying to push the fact a little too hard that women don't need no man, considering there are 4 people there, plus 1 baby, it feels like at least one of the guys should have jumped in to help kill it, considering it's about the same size as Chloe. But no, she fights hand-to-hand with her bat gremlin monster beast, and after blocking its right cross, she slits its throat with its own giant nail, and scoops up her baby, and we watch the fool's errand burn up in a fire of glory, confusion, contempt, contemplation, and equality. The end. Now, when I had first heard of this movie, I was like, shit, tell me more. Well, I read the article about the film. Then came the trailer, with its action-packed clips, leading me to say, fuck yeah. Chloe was badass in the Kick-Ass movies, and considering her wide range in films she's been in, I thought this had to be her door back to kicking ass as an action hero. She just gets shit on in the bottom gunner turret for about 40 minutes or so of the film, taking sexual innuendos and rude remarks about how she's lying and a spy. The movie kicks in. In classic action movies, that's a nice slow segue into the action, the build-up and the pacing, so you don't just get a pointless, conceptless story that just makes boom boom bang bang sounds till your ears and eyeballs bleed. Nay, ye old action films would take the time to set up what was to come, with foreshadowing and suggestive storytelling. This movie followed the same idea, which was a great slice of the old action era back on screen, with a soundtrack that felt like Rambo or the Terminator was about to pop in for a cameo. You can feel the nostalgic storytelling unfolding. Then boom, baby is discovered. Then bam, ex-baby daddy dude is down. Then kaboom, Chloe is crawling upside down to save the infant, blown up, banged around, and watches everyone die one by one. 'Cause that's how it always happens in real life. Chloe Locks single-handedly saves lost, scared boys from crashing, kills Gremlin, and wins. Yay! What? That's it? No explanation for the Gremlin? No going on from the beach to make their way back home? No culmination of satisfaction for the viewer? What the fuck? He laid the groundwork for a film that could have been a greater addition to the huge genre collection that is action movies. But, nah. From start to finish, including the cartoon intro, Shadow in the Cloud was 115 minutes. 120 if you count the credits, with footage consisting of women who fought in the Second World War. Hats off and salute to you ladies. But this movie had built and established the female struggle in the times, as well as being accepted into the military. Then your expectations are subverted, like a goodnight kiss turning into a straight-up kick in the balls. What happened? Where did we go wrong? Not sure, but I think adding the Mr. Incredible origin story of Indestructibaby was pointless, and it took you out of the reality of what if monsters, like a gremlin, really did exist at the time. Written and directed by Roseanne Liang, who has barely made it out of the 60-minute mark on her other film and a string of shorts. This seems to be her big shot, but with a story that only seemed to be concerned with making Chloe's character an independent, need-no-man's-help woman, it missed opportunities to be something more and more memorable. Of course, you want your lead to be the strong role we follow in the movie, but supporting characters only assist in that if you don't treat them like idiots. And in this case, sexist idiots who only want to fuck our protagonist, and exist beyond that for only getting murdered and nothing more. True, things were not easy or even tolerable for women in the military of the early years of its run. Not much better now either. But the only guy in this movie who isn't a drooling tree-humping contestant for Who Wants to Be a Wife-Beater is ex-baby daddy, and he was such a coward that he ditched her when she got pregnant. Nice move, dick. And even he's useless through the entire thing, being nothing other than a baby holder, while Chloe Locke saved the incompetent boys from their early demise, with a little help of turning the plane by co-pilot New Zealand token black guy. But fuck him and his 4 lines and yelling along with Chloe, right? Back to our hero, a lone star in this cast of unrememberable faces. Serious, who the fuck is that? Or this? Or him? I don't know either, and I guess that's what they were going for. Make the lead shine by casting the no-name crowd to spew lines at them. A movie that had potential to be a cult classic, but just became another movie to join a moment that hasn't only sought equality, but decided they want to belittle and degrade the male cast in all their movies, demeaning them to roles fit for no-name actors who get one line in the film and disappear or die. I'm all for equality, but this is like watching women in old action movies cry in the corner, scared and helpless, while the big, strong hero saves her incompetent ass. Those roles piss me off too. Being a son with no father, all I had were two strong women I grew up around. So seeing women act like a bunch of crying cowards and everything was really irritating. Now I'm seeing the roles switched, and have men not scared but incompetent and too stupid to fend for themselves. Cue strong fuck-a-man woman here to save the dumb man from death. Seriously, get your shit together, Hollywood, and give us characters we all want, not characters you think we need. Chloe was a kick-ass, and she played the role with passion, and didn't feel wishy-washy in long scenes where she has the sole focus of the audience, with only a few cutaways of different angles. Good cinematography and directing of her in this role. But from then out, it was weak and not very in-depth, with a giant rap bat thrown in for cheap thrills and violence. Not one I feel deserves another viewing, and not worth renting for $20 off Amazon Prime. I got it from Redbox for $1.80, and sitting here not sure if the high was too good or the movie was too bad. And I just want to roll something up and forget it turned out to be a short, narrow-minded romp in the sky with Goldilocks and Bat Guy. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the credits.